we all have that question. Why does racism exist? Like, why do we have to go through these different things? Or why is this our experience in America? We know it starts with slavery, whether we were sold into it or just flat out stolen from the motherland. Why else does this exist? Like, why won't it go away? And I learned about a psychiatrist, a Black woman psychiatrist who is now deceased. During her lifetime, though, she was out of Washington, D.C., Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, around early 1970s. She
Okay.
came up with a theory called the Cress theory of color confrontation. What she's explaining is the reason why racism exists is because two things. Now, first thing she mentions is white genetic survival. What that
Mm,
is, globally, white folks are outnumbered by us. But her theory explains white genetic annihilation. And her theory is the white race is afraid of becoming extinct because already know they're outnumbered,
mhm,
right? And she used an example. Let's say you put everybody in a field and just start mixing, you will soon see that eventually the white race will be no more. And that
mhm,
was her theory. When I tell you she broke that thing down, she was explaining it. I said, that makes so much sense to me. Why else would you want to put these things in place? Roe v. Wade.
ro
And so I said that to say this. I was listening to the breakdown from that. I said that woman was before her time and she is absolutely right. Why else why else? Goes back to my question at the beginning of this conversation. Why else would I still be dealing with some of the same issues my grandmother was dealing with? And she was born in 1930. The math ain't mathing, right?
within critical race theory, the interest convergence piece connected a lot of dots for me. Why are we still fighting for some of the same stuff that the elders were fighting for? That interest convergence and the ways it talks about the degree that progress is gained is proportional to the degree that whiteness believes that it is in its best interest to do. And if that interest ain't there, it ain't happening. I also think about that in the ways that institutional memory is really short. Thinking back in the pandemic, oh, we got to
Um,
do better. We have to invest in books and training, and we need to learn how to support our black citizens better.
mm,
And now we went from wanting to read all the books to now we got to ban all the books and we can't talk about this anymore. That interest, it is no longer palatable for these
mm,
kinds of stories to be shared, for this kind of exploration. We got to tighten it up now. So you talk about Roe v. Wade, you talk about immigration and policies around that. Those connections are there.
it really is. Also, when thinking about what I just mentioned, that the Crest theory and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, her theory also puts into perspective when we go back to Roe v. Wade, white women weren't having babies. And so, again, to that white genetic annihilation, we're going to put something in place to try to stop this from happening so that we don't become extinct.